Hi, my name's Bossman, and I'm trying to compartmentalize the abject embarrassment I just went through. I guess get settled here. So, some of you know me, most of you don't. I am disabled. Didn't know it used to be, but here I am, and it's fun. I want to speak to you a little bit about juxtaposition and defeat, or at least the feeling of it. So my, I guess, categorical or chief isms that most people are presented with when they meet me are my crippling social anxiety and my PTSD. Really, really hard for me to compartmentalize, given the stimuli or, I guess, the particular day. And yeah, it's challenging, very challenging. So I'm doing this for it to be less challenging and to shed a light on some stuff. And if anybody is out there in a stage or a similar stage to what I'm in right now, or leading up to the one that I'm in right now, stuffing that stuff down is going to get you to this place. Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. So, juxtaposition. Before I was like this, I was a very active addict. High-functioning addict. I was also a executive chef and a facility manager for a very elite club. My NDA is up on that. I plan on talking about it in great length and detail at some point, but it is not now. I've been out of that place for 5 years, and I'm barely holding myself together, and I still am learning about how much of that wreckage I carry around with me every single day. Now, all of the wreckage that I have created for myself as a result of that, that's still my responsibility. I'm not trying to slough off anything. I'm really not. And I know that sometimes people in a position like myself get a bad rap because of this feeling of being quote-unquote crippled by anxiety. I can understand and I can appreciate that most people don't understand and appreciate this. That's fine. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to the human experience that I will never go through and never, have, but that doesn't make them any less valid. So juxtaposition. Basically, in my role as an executive chef and facility manager, I was an event organizer for a very highfalutin clientele, business magnates, you name it. And I did that for about 7 years. I worked chiefly alongside firearms and oligarchs. It was awful. And I'm still dealing with so much of the baggage. Now, that's mine, okay? I made those choices that got me there, and of course, I participated in some of the quote-unquote wholesale destruction too. So I'm holding the receipt, I guess, the bill anyway. But I don't slough off my responsibility in that regard. And I have to look at my past pretty routinely, pretty regularly to avoid repeat incidents. As an addict and an alcoholic in recovery, this is part of our daily mantra. Hi, my name is Bossman, and I'm an alcoholic. That's a good place to start every single day. You sort of know some of the pitfalls you're reminding yourself, and like most people, addicts and alcoholics, we have limited bandwidth. Sometimes it's really easy to forget who you are. After a while, though, it's not easy. It's really, really difficult to forget who you are. That's why the doses go up and the frequency goes up. But that's a topic for another day. Juxtaposition. I used to entertain anywhere upwards of 100 to 200 clients at a time. And again, highfalutin clients. I had an excellent staff that we worked in tandem to facilitate some of the most heinous, but also some of the most entertaining shit imaginable for these sorts of personalities. And we were good at our jobs. And as much as I would like to think that we had a lasting positive impression on any of those fucking people, I know better. I guess that's another topic for another video. But I used to be able to speak in front of huge groups and give this really impassioned speech about why they were at the right place at the right time, and they weren't going to get anything like but we had on offer for them. Essentially, was what I was doing. I was general puffery for the owner, right? You're never going to experience what you're going to experience here, folks. And for people that basically judge their entire existence based on the really, really, really exclusive experiences that they can themselves have and not any of their friends can have, yeah, hook, line, and sinker. Not to say that wasn't extremely stressful. It was. When I started there, I had a lot of hair. I don't anymore. But again, male pattern baldness and stress. Who's to know? My dad's pretty bald. So that's a factor. I used to be able to, just really well describe my intentions behind the design of the menu and sort of the overall layout of the day and the events and the ethos behind everything, the inspiration, what the event was to mean to everybody. And, looking back, I think it was a bit of a privilege in a lot of ways. I got to see sort of what the apex of society was. And I'm really grateful for that, even if it comes along with all of the baggage that I have accrued from that time. That debilitating baggage and trauma. I am grateful for that perspective. Because I don't want that for anyone. I don't even want that for my fucking quote-unquote enemies. There is no more vapid, hollow existence than that. I'm digressing. Again. I knew the extent of the sort of fickle nature of this crowd. I've learned it firsthand by being publicly berated by these people, dragged through the mud. And of course, if you're like me, there is enough motivation in those sorts of instances alone to make sure that you can up your game enough to never let it happen again. And I got really fucking good at it. Really good at it. To the point where the turnover rate that they had, 3 or 4 individuals in the role that I was in prior, they didn't have to worry about that for another 7.5 years. So I had this sort of notion in the back of my head that I was going to punch my ticket. I was going to get a slice of that life, high society, by sacrificing every waking moment to catering to absolute objective buttholes. And would you be surprised to know that they shat me out? But also, I did. I put myself there. I did that. Now, yes, that was the pinnacle of my, work prospects by far. The color of my skin had a lot to fucking do with it, and the people I knew. So a whole lot of luck, things well beyond my scope of control. But again, I'm getting into things that are outside of this whole talk about juxtaposition, or are they? So imagine, if you will, a very well put together, slightly hairier boss man. I could run an event like that would last 4 or 5 days straight. Come home and pretend to be a family man. I couldn't do both. And of course the bottom fell out, and I could do neither. And I'm working at doing one really well. That's being a dad. And a partner. I've been integrating myself back into a larger social circle. And it's been very hard. It's been very hard. I keep trying to press stop on this recording and I keep missing. I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, there we go. I was just invited along with my wife and children to a celebration. A friend of ours, their child is having a birthday, and my wife is very involved with them. They're good friends of the family. I don't really see anybody. I'm a fucking hermit. That's putting it lightly. Basically, since COVID, because my parents, who I'm a relatively large supporter of, and vice versa, have a lot of contact with them. They are immunocompromised. Since COVID kicked off, I've had more than one reason to not be in and amongst whole swaths of people. So today, I saddle up with my family and we go to the birthday celebration. And I pull in, and I know there's roughly going to be about 35, 36 people there. It's not like I haven't been in a fucking restaurant before. The second I pull in, my palms start sweating. And I had been sort of pretty good up to this point. Like, I know what to expect. It's a fucking birthday, dude. But my heart's already up. I'm starting to get the shakes, and yeah, I can't really think about anything other than the immediate fuck. I don't want to freak out in public. I just don't want to freak out in public. It's really not a fun experience. And with that juxtaposition, all I can really do is when I'm in that space, and I'm sure this is very self-defeating, is just remember being literally on a soapbox. It's standing in front of 200 people, having their attention, and being able to articulate what the fuck it was that I wanted to say. And now people look at me, 2 or 3 people look at me at a time, and my skin wants to slough the fuck off. Somebody drops something in my proximity, and it's like I'm back at the 5 stand. getting berated by a bunch of drunk fucking oligarchs with guns. That's tough. It's not combat trauma. It's none of that shit. So my heart goes out to people that have experienced different brands of that kind of really fucking crazy, prolonged stress. My heart absolutely fucking breaks for you. Because I actually had little bits of reprieve. You know, I wasn't laying in a trench for days on end. I had times where I could collect myself. I could probably go do a massive fucking key bump, you know, hoover up a bunch of schneef, and I could get my game face back on. That was a luxury. And I bet, you know, most people that are listening to the way stuff falls out of my mouth now, they probably can tell how hard I am on myself. It's partially a survival mechanism, but at the same time, I don't think I can reasonably look back at my history and expect to make it to a tomorrow and not be disgusted. Just, it doesn't make sense. So, in summation, if you have a really embarrassing time, your past comes up to just bite you in the face at a very inopportune time, and you find yourself looking like, I don't know, a biggity bitch in front of a bunch of people, I want you to remember something. The shit that's got you laid low right now, there's a whole lot of people that wouldn't be able to endure what you went through in the first place. You're gonna fall down. And this is to me as much as it is to anybody else who has the will or want to listen to this. Don't fucking stay down. I just got out of a massive depressive episode that could have lasted potentially anywhere between 16 and 18 months. And I say got out of it because I'm committed to that. And I realized that I made a couple of small choices today that, while they seem very small right now, would have been very impactful on my immediate and short-term, potentially long-term future. I could have chosen to concentrate on the holy fuck, what a fucking idiot I look like, whatever. Fuck that. I don't have to see those people. I don't have to look them in the fucking mirror when I get home. None of that shit. None of that shit. Moreover, I realize that when I'm in that position and that I realize that my veneer is cracking and people can see the vulnerable side of myself, I'm not really worried about the judgment. That's not what gets me. I could give zero fucks about what everybody else sees a person that is in crisis is thinking. I couldn't give a shit. What bugs me is that juxtaposition. Can't shake it yet. Yet! It's a new foundation. And for me to think that I am the exact same person I was then would discount all of the fucking work that I put in the last 5+ fucking years. Over half a decade. And I'm not doing myself any fucking disservice by not being proud about that. So I'm gonna be. And you too. You don't have to be who you were yesterday. As a matter of fact, I'd posit that version of yourself wasn't as good as the one that you can be today. So be it. Do it for yourself. Oh, you dang Beltaloda. Tenye watch good.